you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. First of all, I'm so pleased to meet you.
Hi.
Very live session for the day, and of course, we're having a conversation around food security, which is one of the themes of this year's NGO International Festival, Education, Food Security, and Equality. And I feel that topic is very good to talk about with people who make the food themselves, like you do.
Yes.
Before we even get into the meat of the matter and details that we need to talk about, we would love to hear your voice and just do a fantastic introduction as much as we know.
Well, my name is Mawa. My name is Mawa McQueen, and I have 4 restaurants with 3 different concepts, and I live in Aspen, Colorado, originally from Ivory Coast, raised in Paris, and now live in Aspen, Colorado. Yes.
That very casually, but that's like such a I just have 4 restaurants, Before we go, just a very brief intro into how you got into the space of being a chef and running restaurants.
So I got into this bit honestly because that's the only thing I knew how to do, in our culture, since I was the eldest, I was cooking for my family, and I did enjoy it. It was kind of my escape. So, as an immigrant in France, my parents were working, and I had to look after back then it was 11 of us. So I started cooking, and nobody was there to show me what to do. I just did what I could do, and that's the only thing that I knew how to do best. Back in the day, I didn't think it was you don't think about that as a career. I mean, you just do what you have to do. And I sucked at school, so that was an easy solution. After that, I went to a trade school and I learned culinary, and that's where all my trouble started, because it's very hard for a female chef living in France to make her mark, because everybody thinks you should be looking after children or cleaning the toilets, so they didn't take you seriously. So I moved to America because I thought that's, there's more Black people on TV and there's more opportunity. And I'm very grateful and thankful that I did that, because I had a wonderful career. I got nominated from James Beard Award, and I also recently, like last week, I'm in the Michelin Guide for Mawa's Kitchen. So it was such a achievement and something that I could never ever, have done if I would have stayed in France. So it was a good move. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting history back there. Now, when we talk about, of course, food security, like I mentioned, it's one of the themes of this year's NGO International Film Festival.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh, good. Okay. It's cut.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So I'll repeat the question one more time. When we speak about food, like I mentioned, it's one of the themes for the International Film Festival. I would like to understand from your point of view, what does food security mean to you?
For me, food security means that everybody should have healthy and food, be able to have healthy, nourishing food, every single person on the planet, because we produce so much more than we can consume. So I don't understand in this day and age that we're still talking about something that I thought I only experienced back in the day, 40 years ago in Africa. Even living in America, people don't have, not everybody have access to food. For me, everybody should have access. That's the bare minimum. That's a human right. It's not even, it's like water. Okay? So.
All right. So if you talk about the trajectory of back in the day where we are now, how do you think we are doing in terms of attaining food security? Are we doing great, or is there still a big gap that is yet to be filled?
Oh my God, I think there's a big gap. The problem is there's I'll say one side of the globe where they produce so much that they can't even use. And then the other side of the globe, they don't produce enough. So, and so we don't have the mean to produce anywhere, or we don't produce enough. And then the other side, we have so much and we throw it away. But yet there's some people who can't. They don't have food. For example, in America, a lot of people go to school or go to bed without enough food. And you'll think it's ludicrous to live in America or France or all this country and people still starving. Because I think people have this narrative, oh, African people are starving. Dude, last time I checked, my parents, my family is not starving because we have this thing, we don't waste. You know what? We always invite people, we always give. Here, no. I have too much, I'm going to throw it in the trash. I'm not going to give it to the neighbor. I'm not even going to give it to the homeless person. To tell you how messed up that is. Like we go to restaurants, we go eat, and we're left over, we say, oh, okay, we're going to put it in the fridge, but we never eat it. So it's funny because when I go to Denver, for example, I overorder so that I can give it to, because we have so many homeless people. So many homeless people. Because people don't have food. So I always go and give them food instead of giving them money. You know, because I know that I'm doing something great. So if everybody did that, instead of throw the food away, they can give it to someone that they know. You know, every big city have homeless. Every big city have people that they can give the leftover to. But we don't. I think the reason why they don't is because also they don't want to be sued if someone is sick or whatever. There's this thing. It's such a, I think they make things so complicated because even me in a restaurant, I have leftover. Okay, I love to send it to the homeless shelter. Oh no, we can accept it because if someone gets sick or and then I have the liability. So I wanted to do something nice, but it ended up costing me money because someone probably is not even from the food, but it just happened. So I mean, there's so many things, so much more I can talk to you about. So yes.
So from listening to you, you can attest that there's still so much to be done if you're going to. Yes. So do you think we're having the conversation enough? Is it being talked about enough? Are we handling it with the seriousness it deserves, or it just floats as a?
Absolutely not. I think now it's in back burner. The only time people will listen to food security is when you talk about Africa. Do you understand? That's the only time people will listen to it. Anything else they don't. They're like, oh, well, no, you know, there's plenty of food, all the supermarket. I mean, we have so much abundance. But I'm like, we have so much abundance, but there's so much more people that don't have it. Okay? So how come? It doesn't make sense. In this day and age, in America, okay, or in Europe, why people are still starving, okay? Just I'm gonna for once leave Africa out of the equation, okay? Because it's just a stereotype that people. I know, you know, somewhere in Africa, not everybody has water, and not everybody, but like they need to stop that stereotype because in countries like America and all the other countries, I mean, people are starving. What do they do about it? Okay, and they have abundance. It's not even like if they didn't have, it would be a different story. Okay, they produce more than we can use. So what do we do with the food that they don't sell? The supermarket, it's abundant. I mean, you're like, wow, we can't even eat what we have. So what do they do with it? They throw it away. They throw it away. So that's the problem, and that's what we need to talk about. How do you recycle it? How do you can those food? Okay, what can you do? Can you prepare a meal with it just because the tomato has a little spots? You know, because it's not beautiful. it's such a visual thing instead of, okay, what does this stand for? We used to can all the time. Nobody's canning anymore. Nobody is recycle things that it's the food is not even bad. The product is not even bad. It's just because they can't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should, every single supermarket should have a chef like us who come in and say, okay, let me show you, you know, here what we can do. We can prepare a meal and we freeze it and we give it to homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can't sell this tomato. Well, let's make a big batch of tomato soup. Okay, a pasta sauce with it.
Mm-hmm.
The, the,
Mm-hmm.
the, the, the thing is, it's not that the product is that. It's just blemish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, society, this is not pretty enough. Let's throw it away. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the same way we dispose of people. Or this person is not skinny enough. Let's, they don't matter. So the hindsight is so like it just doesn't make sense to me.
All right.
So
Now,
yeah.
you've some solutions when you're talking about it would be nice to even have a supermarket with a chef, you give advice on what you're doing. Of course, in the expertise for quite a long time, you have ideas. From where you see, has it been possible for you to reach a place where your ideas are listened to and they can be implemented? Is it still a far from attainable destination? Or what is the plan with all these fantastic ideas that you have when it comes to executing?
It's so far. It's so far. It's like I would say right now it's a dream. It's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And also I live in a place that uh no, we don't have homeless really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a different place compared to everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Aspen, it's its own island. It's a vacational place. It's beautiful. Everybody, we have 100 billionaire living here. So now they don't need it. Now they don't think about it. I think about it because I know what it felt like to not have food. And I travel, and 4 hours from here, Denver's there, and I see it. But I think it's a conversation that we need to have way more, and I think we need to be realistic and real about the solution
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, "Oh, we can't." There's so much, like we are so good as a chef at being creative. This is what we were born for. When you're a chef, you are creative. Okay, they give you tomato and you make pasta with it, you make things with it. That's our job. If we can't even do that, well, might as well go some, like change job. We are the solution.
Mm-hmm.
I think chef people who cook are the solution for the food waste to a certain extent. When the food it's already we harvested. Once the product is harvest, we are the solution. When it's not harvest, we are not the solution. It's other people.
Uh-huh. So do
Yeah.
you think probably we need to have more forums where we bring together chefs from different parts of,
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
different eating cultures, and also
Exactly.
so how can we
Ab-
go about it to just make sure when you're having conversations around food security, as much as you're going to sit down with stakeholders in government spaces and different other organizations, how important is it to include the chefs who actually handle the food?
I think it's so important to invite them to be present so
Mm-hmm.
that we can learn from each other. Like I said to you, I was fortunate enough to live in 3 different continents. So my knowledge is broad, from African food to French to American food. So I have a good expertise, but other people may have something else than some Japanese ingredient I don't know how to use and to feed the Japanese crowd. So I think we really need to include the chef
Mm-hmm.
because it's so important so that we can really come up with a solution. And even talking to you today, it's a blessing because I think we are opening the the conversation. Usually people want to know about, oh, what you cooking, Mawa? And this is so much more enjoyable for me to talk about it and say, oh, I want to be involved. Here's the thing, I'm here to serve. I want to be involved. I want to be able to create a dish and say, oh my God, this product didn't go to waste and it didn't pollute the planet because I saved it. Yeah. So that's the thing.
All right. So now with food security, of course, we are trying to make sure that not just the generation for now, but also the next and the come after that is able to attain food security. How do you think, in your opinion, the youth are involved in this conversation? Do you think we have enough of them involved, or can we do better to make sure we have the young people voices heard when it comes to conversations such as food security? Because you'll realize maybe in these big forums, the representation is, the younger ones are less than the older ones who are making the most decisions and giving more direction when it comes to that. How can we make it possible for young people to be included in this conversation if we are to make the next generation also able to attain food security?
First of all, I think it comes from education. I think it should be a curriculum at school to educate them about farming, about food, how, nourishment, how to do the basic. The funny thing, we send our kids to school and we don't teach them anything that they're going to use in life. They don't know nothing, especially today. The only thing they know is TikTok. So I think it's our duty to teach them, to get them involved, okay? Because you know the sad thing, before we talk to kids about food security, they don't even know where the food comes from. They think fish should be square and look like breaded, and they don't know what a fish look like. They don't know what a whole cow look like today, because it's not like we know, a whole fish. I mean, you have a whole fish and you're like, oh my God, look what is that? Oh my God, it's so disgusting. Good, that's what you're eating. So it comes from. So I think we need to go to the lower level, teach them about food, how wholesome it is, where fish come from, how we grow our fish, how we grow this, and what are the consequences of growing. What are the consequences of overproducing? What is the difference between organic and non-organic, sustainable? So there's a lot more to do before even we go food security, because they are deprived of all those knowledge. They don't know, what to choose. They are generation fast food because it's everywhere, so they don't even think about it. And then whose fault is that? It's us. We are. Our parents are the things, so it's our duty to teach them, to get them involved, to invite them to sit at the table with us.
All right. And of course, when you're speaking about food security, matters like agriculture is definitely not going to be left on the side, because if we're to get food, we have to go through the route of agriculture. Yes. Important is that knowledge. And do you think advertising young people to actually look at agriculture as something
Absolutely
they can get into? What would you say your thoughts on that are?
First of all, for me right now, I think we outsource so much. I think we got rid of farmers, and that is a shame, because we left our planet to be cultivated by people who don't care about it. They care about the bottom line. There's no synergy between, before the farmer took time to cultivate the ingredient, the farm. It was a wholesome, very, you were in touch with nature, in touch with what you're eating. Today, it's a big company with big machine. There's no human connection with the food. No wonder we can't digest anything, and we have so many problems. Do you understand? I think we need to go. I will say this is where we fail. I will say I like a small farmer who take pride, like people who cook their own food, take pride of cultivating. Let's go back to farming. let's enjoy, be in touch with nature, because the only way we can save um, our planet and have a better soil, it's when we are in touch with things.
Mhm.
You know, if you're not in touch, because if you cultivate, you're going to be in touch with it. You're going to feel it.
Mhm.
You're going to say, okay, this soil needs more of this. This soil needs, you know, and there's so much story out there.
Mhm.
You know, when you sit, I remember when I used to sit and listen to my grandma, you know, because she has a little farm and she was talking about it. Oh yeah, this is like this, and I'm like, man, back in the day I thought it was boring, but now I don't think so.
Mhm.
Because that's life. Food
Mhm.
is life. And
100%.
we forget about it. And that's what I want, you know, I want us to go back. I want us to
Mhm.
buy from little farmers again.
Mhm.
I want us to value their work because we
Mhm.
don't. We rather buy the tomato that it's has so much GMO and it's fat, and we're like, oh, this is much beautiful than the small farmer who, you know, this tomato took way more time to grow, but it's better for you. And yes, it's expensive, but you know what? You don't have to go to hospital after that.
Mhm.
It's a whole spectrum of things that I think we need to talk about and we need to be more present about.
Mhm. So, and as the world changes and we keep evolving every other day, adopting new styles of living, having been in the business of being a chef for quite some time, what would you say are the trends when it comes to how we are consuming food back then, now, and what it looks like in the coming future? What is changing and where are we heading to?
First of all, I think we are a generation of waste. We like to waste. We buy
Hmm.
way more. We eat too much because it's
Hmm.
available. We have no respect for food. For me, every time you overeat, you have no respect for it. You know, uh, we don't know that it's life. You know, food heal you, but food gets you sick too. Why? Because of overeating, because of over um, we we manufacture too much things. We
Hmm.
put too much junk and crap in our food. Um, our taste buds are messed up. Um, I really think we need to go back to the basic. I think we need to only buy what we want to eat.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So first of all, you save money,
Hmm.
and then having a little meal planning. Plan your meal for the week if you can, or for 3 days,
Hmm.
so you don't have to. Because most of people say, "Oh, I'm gonna make this salad, or I'm gonna make this dish," and I'm guilty of it too. Like I'm like I go home and I'm like, oh my god, no, I didn't. In the end of the week, what I do, I throw it away because I didn't use it, especially fresh product.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
if we have more, we plan our meal and we take a day and say, okay, here I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna make this recipe, and I'm gonna freeze it. You know, be very mindful of what we're doing every step of the way. I
Hmm.
think it's helpful.
All right. It's quite sad to hear you talking about how we are a generation of waste. We waste too much. We
Yes.
respect food. You know, how can we use the platforms that we have right now? Um, Digital platforms, festivals like what we're about to witness, the NGO International Film Festival, to bring this awareness in a way that is really impactful and not just another, oh yeah, here we go, we're talking again. And then we go back to the same old, wastage way of doing things. What's the way forward so that we can have impact and change that is much needed?
Everything starts with knowledge. Knowledge is power. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of us are ignorant about that because, you know, because we were born into it.
Mhm.
And most of the young generation, and honestly, I don't even blame them because they don't know any better. They were born in abundance. Nobody told them, oh, you need to save. You need to only buy this. You know, because big company make money as we waste. More we waste, better it is for them. The bottom line, you know, overbuy, over. So we need to teach them now that yes, you have abundance. Yes, you can choose, but choose wisely. Here how you can do to save money. Here how you can do to be healthy. So for me, it's all about, you know, like I say, having me coming maybe on the next seminar that you guys have and teaching people how to save money and buy only what they need when you go to the grocery store, you know, and how to preserve things, you know, maybe lettuce, you know, if you wrap it with water and a towel, it's gonna last longer. Things like that. I think it's all about being willing to teach, and I think people don't know. A lot of people don't know, and you need to repeatedly, you know, tell them that it's important. It's important. Your life depends on it. You know, the planet depends on it.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, part of food security, besides just having enough food and available to everyone, it's also nutrition, right? And making sure
Yes.
food that is healthy, food that is good consumption. How are we doing in that aspect? You think we are in a generation that is very keen about eating clean and taking care of what we put into our mouth? Because also you do realize now more than ever we do have such a high record of lifestyle diseases that also come a lot from what we put into our bodies. So if you're going to talk about food security, besides the abundance side, where yes, making sure we get the young people into agriculture, make people not waste food, how are we bringing the concept of healthy food and making it something that young people want to consume as opposed to running to the burger every other day, you know?
Again, like I say, it's all about education. We need to educate them about nutrition, okay? And we need to teach them that it's better for you to eat a salad or a simple meal than going to the McDonald's because it's quick. You know, anything quick is not gonna get you sick. Period. That's for me.
Yeah.
You know, so make better choice. You know how we take our time. For me, the way I see it is, we are a generation who I will do anything for anything that is outer. Meaning, oh my God, I want my face to look like this. I want my body to look like. I will starve. I will go to the end of the world to look like a freaking Kim Kardashian or whatever you name it. Okay, and no fault to anybody. Like, yeah, I'm not hitting on anybody. So what go into our mouth? We don't care. We spend less time. But this the one we should care the most is that. What going to your mouth, your inside? It's way more important. And it's not. And this is I see it. It's so common. Whether you're rich, you're a billionaire, you're poor, it's the same problem. We only care about the outer versus what goes inside. Because my clients are billionaire. Okay? They have all the resources. No, they want to get a burger. No, they want to eat. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with a burger when it's not processed and they don't put junk in there. Okay? A good piece of meat is good. You know? So while people are getting sick, while we have so much disease, okay, we need to make a choice of what we put in our mouth. And in order to make that choice, we need to know what is good and what is bad. Yes, we make progress. I think we make progress based on the last 10 years because a lot more people buying organic, a lot more people buy from farmer, a lot more people are aware of, there's two sides of the equation. There's fat food and there is normal food, you know, and there's junk. Like You know what? I always say, if you read a packaged meal that an ingredient you can't pronounce, don't eat it.
Mm,
Period. If it doesn't look familiar, don't even. Salt is salt. Pepper is pepper. Okay? If that becomes something else, I don't want it. So
mm-hmm.
all basic, you know, GMO free, okay, sustainable. You want something good to go into your body because this is you. You want to live longer. You don't want to pollute it, but we pollute our body every day, and then we go and buy Chanel and all that. You know what? Use our money and go to the, the, the farmer next to you and spend that money with them.
All right.
That's me. Or go to Whole Food. Now they have Whole Food where we guys have Waitrose in England. There's so many, like there's company that coming up with really good products. So read the packaging. Look at where your product come from. I think people need to know where things come
Oh,
from and
okay.
how it's made. How it's made is very important.
100%. And as we wind up, I mean, of course, with festival like the NGO International Film Festival coming up very soon, where food security is one of the themes, and also these conversations that we're planning to keep having so that we keep raising more awareness on the importance of taking food security seriously. What is the world you're hoping to see after all of this is said and done?
I hope everybody will be educated and people are going to be more aware, a sense of awareness when we choose, whatever we choose to do, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
buying, eating, um, awareness, you know, that's the only thing, that's the only way people, if that's what's going to push people to action. You know, more people will know. I mean, I think we can come up with fun video for the young people to be aware of what's going on, to be aware of where the food chain, things like that. So we need to speak their language.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be educated
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't grow up knowing that. It's because I'm a chef, and I decided to educate myself. You know, so it's totally different. For me, everything comes from education,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then so we can spread that knowledge.
All
Let's
right.
spread that knowledge.
Mm.
That's the first thing, and then hopefully that will push to action.
And we're definitely looking forward to such a world. And maybe just one last question,
Yeah.
Mawa. What is your favorite meal? Very curious to find out.
Honey,
What's
you know I'm African. What is my favorite meal? My favorite meal, I will say, I love plantain. I
oh
love fufu.
wow.
I love fufu. I am such a yeah. I know you have thought I love caviar and
You
that
know,
confit now.
yeah, because of being a chef, I was waiting for you to give me some terms I can't even pronounce.
I love my gumbo. I love my fried plantain, my fried fish,
We are still
my
fighting,
oxtail.
still fighting over whether it's Ghanaian jollof or Nigerian jollof,
Oh,
which is
no, no, no. I'm not putting me. It's Chef Jen. It's Senegalese.
really
We create that. We create that.
how we in the chat. Because the conversation is crazy. Everyone is fighting on which jollof is the real jollof.
The jollof come from Senegal. I'm gonna tell you right
No,
now. Okay.
know that. But seriously, I didn't know that. I can't wait to see another of those Twitter battles. And I'm like, by the way, guys, it comes from Senegal, and everyone is gonna think so learn it. But I'm like, thank you.
I think every country has a fried rice.
Mm,
Okay, and whether it's jollof or chapajan, I am just grateful. I'm gonna tell you what I'm grateful for. I am grateful that people acknowledge African food as as something that it's great
mhm,
today. And I don't care if you call it jollof or whatever, but today this is part of most of people know what it is.
mhm.
Okay, before everybody thought that we didn't have any food culture. I'm like, we create food, okay? So now we have food culture, and I'm just grateful. You know, I have jollof rice in my restaurant. And the reason why I'm calling it jollof rice is because, yes, Nigeria made it, you know, did a great job promoting it. But I
All
am
right.
making it, I'm making it the Senegalese chapajang.
Mm.
So, but if I say chapajang, they won't understand it. You know, I need to say jollof to be closer to. So I will give credit to the Nigeria because they did a great job putting
Mm-hmm.
in the world. Okay, we can't dismiss
Yeah,
that. Okay,
absolutely. Absolutely.
okay. So I will say thank you for doing that. But you got it from Senegal.
Okay. Now, the genesis of it all. That's a very important piece of information that we didn't have, you know? So yeah, we have come to the end of our life. It was so amazing to speak to you. We were supposed to also have with us Lerato Uma Stelo, but I'm understanding she's having a difficulty joining. She's also a very fantastic chef, a leading voice in the space of contemporary cooking, an author and a broadcaster. I'm hoping we'll get an opportunity to talk to her soon, but so thankful for your time. It has been such full of moments, and we are going to keep these conversations going. And very soon I'll be in one of your 4 restaurants that you said very casually, you know. Of course.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me. And yes, let's keep the conversation going.
absolutely.
And you're more than welcome.
Thank you
Okay.
so very much, and keep
Thank you,
up the good work.
everybody. Thank you, everybody online
All
and
right. Bye.
over the world. Thank you. Bye bye.